Um, we have two comments already. Hello. Hi guys, good evening. Hello Olaoluwa. Hello Philip. Hello Daniel. Welcome, welcome. Can you hear me? Please drop in the comments if you can hear me, if you can see me. Please drop in the comments. Hi Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. Good evening. Good evening, Linda. How you guys doing? Hi Ruth. Hello John. Welcome, welcome. Hi Ebenezer. Hello Suki. It's nice to have you. Hello Tumishe. Good, good. I can see some people are joining from LinkedIn, from YouTube. Hi Stephen. Hi Olawale. Hi Chibuike. Hello Victor. Thank you for joining. Oh, great. Great. You can see me and you can hear me. Great. Thank you for joining. We'll be starting soon. Once it's 8 p.m., we'll be starting. We just need to, allow others to join. Hello, Adam. Hello, Kibe. I hope I pronounced your name well. Thank you guys for joining. And also, thank you for joining early, in fact. Hi, Tamuno. Hi. Hi, Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know if that helped, but okay, let me try again. Kibe. Let me know if that was correct. Oh, nice, nice. Thank you. Ha ha ha. Thank you, Ernest. Thank you so much. So we'll just wait more. So before then, you guys can, introduce yourself in the comment section. Let's know what you do, where you're joining us from, you know. Hi, Abisoye. Hello, Ademola. Where you guys joining us from? Oh, great. Thank you, Daniel. Daniel is joining us from Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, Lagosian. We have one Lagosian right here. Okay, another one. Abigail, welcome. John Port Harcourt, welcome. Suki is joining from London. Welcome. Lagos again. Anambra, that's nice. Timishi is also in Nigeria. He works as a network and system engineer. Hi, guys. Abisoye is in New Jersey. Afo, I hope I pronounced that well. He's joining from Bonny Island. Wow. From Vermont. Nice. Liverpool, London, Manchester. Nice, nice. It's nice to have you guys. It's nice to have you guys. Welcome, welcome. Front end developer. That's good. Hi, Enoch from Cardiff. Welcome. It's almost time. So let's get ready. We're starting soon. Funsho from Liverpool. Welcome. Taiwo from Glasgow. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for joining. So did you guys see our post, or how did you hear about this webinar? Let's interact. Let's talk. I'll be reading your comments. Okay, Abigail saw our post on Slack. Oh, Abigail, are you our student? It's good to have you. I saw it in Slack channels. Great. From Slack, nice. Email, nice, nice. Yay, Suki, good to have you. Ruth, good to have you. Oh, nice, Abigail, nice. How are you finding the program? Ebenezer, email, nice. I'm totally new. This is the first session. Oh, don't worry, you're going to love it. You're going to love this session. Trust me. Philip, email, Idioma, Slack, Facebook, Cosmin. Oh, Cosmin, you saw the ad, but I think you're also our students because this name, I know this name. I remember the name. Enoch, email. I got an email. I'm from Slack tonight. It's interesting so far. I'm a newbie. My first session. Don't worry, it's going to be an amazing one. Trust me. Just joined the July cohort class. Saw the invite and stuff. Nice, nice to have you, Abdul Qadri. Bulus. I hope I pronounced that well. I don't want to murder anybody's name. Bulus. Oh, you're new here. We hope this won't be your last session with us. Um, Tunji Slack. Nice. We have a lot of people from Slack. Great. Um, Moshola, you're a newbie here. Welcome, welcome. Tunji from Slack. Kolawali from Slack. Great. Daniel from Slack. Nice. Okay. So once we hit 100, I'm going to start. LinkedIn. It's good to have you. Aziz, your first session, okay? You join more, and we hope that this wouldn't even be your last with us. Um, LinkedIn, Abdulaziz, LinkedIn, Daniel, Slack. It's good to have you guys. So welcome, guys. I think I'm just going to. I need one more person to hit 100, and I will start. For session 2, okay? Don't worry. Join from Slack. Nice. Hello, Francis. Hello, Bob. Hi, Henry. Welcome. Hope to enjoy the ride. You would. Newbie, July cohort. Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Hello, Ruben. Yazid. Hi. Good evening. OG from Instagram. Nice. First time in a live session. Okay, Emmanuel, welcome. We hope you enjoy it. New here to saw a LinkedIn notification about this event and I clicked. I would thank you for clicking and you enjoy the session. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for joining. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for joining, guys. Um, Correctly, that's great. Oh, yay. Yay for me. Thank you. Excited to be here. Excited to have you as well, Suleiman. So happy you joined. I'm so glad. Okay, now we've hit the number, we've even passed that number. So I'm just going to do a little bit of introduction before I pass it on to Dari to handle the session. The reason why we're going to not to waste time, it's just so that we respect your time. You've taken out time to tune in to us this evening. You could be doing any other thing, but you chose to come here, so we'll make it worth your time, right? So guys, welcome. If you don't already know, Diary.io is the future of work. And here at Diary.io, we train people to become DevOps engineer. And to be honest, we are like the best in the market. We are actually the best in the market. We could say this and it could be a lie, but trust me, this time around, it's not a lie. It's not a lie. We're actually telling the truth. The reason why we stand out, you'll be hearing from Dario himself. But if I do say so myself, before you hear everything that we have to say, I need to tell you to prepare your mind to hear the best strategy out there to, excel as a cloud professional. So if you're looking to, please, can we see me? If you can't see me, let me know. Okay. All right, guys. I'm going to be bringing Dari up right now in a minute.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Please confirm if you can hear me. I'm going to try to put on my camera quickly. Hello. I'm glad to have everyone here. This is Dare speaking, and I'm so excited that you guys have made it out of your busy schedule just to be here. Okay, please confirm if you can hear me. I'd like to see in the chat box if you can hear me, if you can see me, so that, oh, nice. Abigail has just confirmed that it is loud and it's clear. Awesome. Thank you very much, Priscilla, for moderating the session and getting us all set up. Without wasting our time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen quickly so that we can go through what we are here to discuss. So I'm sharing my screen now. And can you please confirm if you can see my screen? It's just a PowerPoint slide. We're not doing any coding or anything technical today, so don't worry. So if you're joining from your phone, that's all right, as long as you can hear and see me, and just confirm if also the screen is clear enough for you to see the text in there. Okay. Yeah, so if you want to see the screen very well, I think there is a full screen option as well. So you just need to click on it so that it becomes bigger for you. Okay. All right. So now a lot of us here are already on their way to becoming cloud DevOps engineer. If you're not yet on your way and you're still thinking about it, this is where to be. Okay, so if you want to become a DevOps engineer and you're not so clear what exactly it's all about, or you've been hearing different things, you're hearing SRE, platform engineer, solutions architect, and you're confused, where exactly do I start? Or you're already working in tech, maybe you're a software tester, a developer, or you're a BA, Scrum Master, whatever it is that you're doing, and you desire to get a lot more hands-on, you want to be technical, you want to be involved in the back-end stuff, you just don't know where to start, or you think it's too much, you're overwhelmed with all the information out there. This session right here is just going to help you a lot. This is probably going to be that session where it's going to be a reality check for you to say, okay, yes, I want to do this, but really, is it for me? Can I actually do it? Okay, so I'm going to be as real as possible, give you all the information you need to know, okay, so that you can basically make that decision at the end of the session. And also, there will be interaction. I'm going to take a few questions from you guys as well. And someone says, your face shows small, small. I don't know what that means, but I hope you can see me and hear me. All right, cool. So, who am I? Let me quickly introduce myself. For those who do not know me, Someone's saying it's breaking intermittently. I apologize for that. Let me check my internet. My internet seems strong right here. So just in case, maybe it could be from your end. You probably want to restart your internet and jump back the session or something like that. Well, my name is Dare Olufumlayo. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a platform called Dare.io. 3x AWS certified DevOps engineer, whatever that means. It just means that I have some certifications in AWS. Now, you may be wondering, well, that means I have to be certified before I can launch this career. Trust me, you don't have to. I actually got my certifications way after I had launched my career. So I only started writing certifications recently just because I started running a training program. That's the only reason why I decided to write these certifications, okay? No other reason. But I have a few other certifications as well, big data, Cloudera specifically. There are a few of those options when it comes to big data, Hortonworks and all that. I focused on Cloudera. I'm a certified Kubernetes administrator as well, and I do software engineering. So this sort of gives you an idea of who I am from a technical perspective to say, okay, am I even qualified to give you this information or not? Okay, I think I am because I have actually spent the last few years in the industry working with companies across, well, specifically, majorly in the UK, but a few in the US as well, working for the government and financial sector and a few of organizations that I've worked with. So I have been around for a while to know exactly what organizations want when it comes to hiring DevOps or cloud engineers, and I've been part of a lot of interviews helping them make that decision to hire people. Okay, all right. Moving on. What I'd like you to do, if you haven't done that already, please introduce yourself. I know Priscilla was trying to get you to introduce yourself the other time, but one thing I'd like to do is to also know a bit more about your background, okay? Saida says she can't hear anything. Is that true for everyone else? Can you please confirm before I carry on? Because I want to make sure you have the best experience of today's session. And if I have to turn off my camera just to improve the experience, probably that would be great. But it'd be nice to hear from everyone else. Are you experiencing breaking in and out of the audio? Oh, okay. So we have a lot of people saying they can hear me loud and clear. Okay, that's good to know. So let us know, are you from a tech background? Are you from a non-tech background? What do you currently do? And what is it that you aim to achieve by the end of today's webinar? It'd be nice to know so that it will also help me to direct the conversation towards what is most beneficial to you. Now, what are you going to get out of this class today? Well, first of all, I'm going to try to explain to you as much as possible who a DevOps engineer is and what it is that it means to launch a career in DevOps or cloud. Now, we use these interchangeably. Sometimes you hear DevOps, you hear cloud, and you may be confused regarding, okay, how do they connect? Where is the meeting point? Does it actually mean the same thing? We'll talk about those today and then help you make some sense out of it. Okay. And it's also going to be a reality check for you on that question. Can I truly become a DevOps engineer? Is it real? Is it a reality for me to to say that I can become a DevOps engineer? And also give you an opportunity to get started once you've been able to make that decision. I can see a lot of people, no tech background, in health sector and stuff like that. That's really good. All right, we have a few people with tech background as well. All right, and we have some people saying they're looking to transition into tech. Don't worry, this is the best place for you to be. Now, first of all, I'm going to blow your mind by letting you know that even though I'm in the tech industry right now, I actually didn't come from a tech background myself. Okay, so forget about all the certifications on my profile. They didn't just come out of the box, and it's not like I have a degree in tech or anything. Actually, a few years ago, and I'm sure there are some people on the call today who probably know me some maybe 15, 12, 15 years ago who can actually verify, some of the things I was saying. Now, I'll actually dig this out today while I was preparing this slide, and this was a publication that was done on me in 2012. And I actually used to be a fashion designer. I used to um, run a fashion business called Zuto Fashion. And, the link is still here. You could just take that link, put it on Google and search and just read a few about it. And the only reason I pull this out there is just to give you that confidence that it doesn't matter what it is that you're doing right now. Okay. So forget about anyone telling you you can't do this. Okay, so this was one of my models back then, and I used to do a lot of clothing and designs and stuff, and I used to sell to a lot of people. And when it was time for me to make that decision to do what I'm doing now, it was just a matter of shutting my ears off whatever people were saying. I literally had someone say to me then, Dari, it's too late for you now. You can't do this. You're in your early 30s and you want to start tech now. It's not possible. Someone literally said that to me, but I didn't listen, So that's to tell you that whatever it is you want to do, once you have enough information to get started, go for it. Okay, go for it. And I'm going to try as much as possible to give you that information today so that you can make that decision to say whether or not you want to press forward or you want to try something else. Okay. So how did it happen for me? What's my story? How did I get here? Well, like I said, first of all, shut out completely from silent or loud voices saying it is impossible. Okay. Um, yeah, just don't listen to anyone. Anyone that tells you that it's not possible, you need to have programming background, you must have spent X number of years doing, tech or whatnot. They're just lying. Okay. It is you. You are the only one that can stop you from doing this. I'm not saying it's going to be a smooth ride, and we're going to get to that in a minute. We'll talk about the challenges and things to watch out for along the way. But trust me, it starts from you. Okay. So I had to believe in myself that I could do it. So if you don't have that conviction first of all, then it's not going to be possible for you to push yourself through. You have to create time. So I created a lot of time for myself to learn, and majority of my time then was learning from YouTube. So I learned a lot of things from YouTube. So thanks to Google for providing that platform, and it was really really fun at the time. Now I also did a lot of series of projects that I created myself. So it was more of hands-on practice and implementation, and there was a lot of that. I spent so much time doing that, and a bit of luck as well, especially when it's time to start looking for work. Because obviously, you have to put a profile out there, you have to start looking for work, start speaking to recruiters, start networking, start going for interviews, and uh, just have that positivity, and whatever your religion is, pray about it. And I think these are the things that worked for me. Okay, so reality, there are other people that have done the same thing. So we're going to talk about a few of them. So I'm not the only one that have actually gone through this same strategy. We have a few other people that have actually leveraged the platform that we're running today. And these are people that you can verify. You can search for them online. Some of you even know them because they've been through our program. And you can see there's quite a lot of them. We can't literally go through everything, but you can see France did it, and he eventually I've actually just highlighted because we can't read everything. So I've just highlighted the things that they have said there. So Franz says here, proud to say that I finally nailed my first DevOps job. Actually, Franz is very interesting because by the time he joined us, he already had AWS Solutions Architect certification, but he couldn't get a job. And that's because most of the interviews he was going for, he didn't have the experience to talk about the things that he had done to convince a recruiter to say, tick, we can hire you. Okay. But he gave this a chance and he nailed it. Ailika, same here. I've got 3 offers already, in which 2 are in 6 figures in Great British Pound. Charles did it. Today will be my first day at my new job, says Charles. Faisal, I did it. I'm glad to announce that I got an offer as a cloud operations associate. There's quite a lot of people like that, so I can't possibly go through everything. Alex too. Even the ladies, I like to talk about. I wish she's here today. I don't know if she's listening on LinkedIn or something, but yeah. So there is a whole lot of people. Ade did it. Esther did it. Esther's supposed to be here. I don't know if she's gonna come up at some point to talk about her experience. Dele did it. Fabian did it. And there's many more. We have actually lost count right now, and every single day we're always hearing about people that have gotten their own job. So, what exactly is DevOps? What is so special about becoming a DevOps engineer, and how can I get started? So these are the things that we're going to be talking about today, and I'm going to try as much as possible to break it down for you guys so that it makes a lot more sense. Okay, so in simple terms, DevOps is a set of practices that combine software development and IT operations together to enable faster and more reliable software delivery. Now, that may sound confusing still because we're talking about definition, isn't it? But it's like having a team of people who work together, and what they do is they build and deliver software in the best possible way. So most organizations today are driven by technology. I mean, it's very obvious from, I'm sure all of you today, you hear about new AI products coming up. You have ChatGPT, and Google is releasing their own Bard. Elon Musk is releasing his own, and it's all happening. And new products are being developed off the bat of that. Even before AI, companies drive their businesses through technology, whether it's to analyze data, whether it's to make life better, improve operations, just name it. Every successful company today, no matter what they do, whether it's healthcare, whether it's manufacturing, they are all driven by technology. And these technology products actually needs to be used by people. And what happens is the people behind the scenes that make these technology products available, they're usually spread in two. Basically, the developers and also the operations teams. So who are the developers? I mean, that's fairly obvious. The people who actually write the code and develop the product, right? And then we have the operations guys who are the ones who takes the written code, build them and operate it, make it available to users who would ultimately use this product. So these users, they may actually be internet facing users, like for example, for those who are already using our product, diary.io, you go to your browser, you log in to diary.io, wherever you may be in the world, right? You are an end user. Now, in organizations, some end users are actually internal within the company. So it could be a management report that the CEO needs to wake up in the morning to read. And the software driving that, or some business intelligence solutions, is all driven by code. So operating this, one of the things that is very important is that the users of these platforms, their need is constantly changing. Every time there's going to be need for new features, or whether it's a case where bugs are being identified on maybe the app or the website, and it needs to be fixed. Now think about it. If the time it takes to request for a new feature or to fix a bug and the time it gets to actually make that feature available or to fix it, if it takes a very long time, what do you think will happen? Obviously, the users of the platform get frustrated. If a competitor somewhere makes a product that is able to iterate fast and make these features available quickly, users are going to start shifting focus to their competition, and at the end of the day, it's going to start depleting the company's revenue, right? So DevOps is, think of it as that set of principles and practices that allows organizations to release software fast. So whether it's new features or bug fixes, as long as you're able to get it available to customers in a fast, speedy, reliable, and secure manner, then you're practicing DevOps. Before DevOps, it used to take a long time, a very long time to get new products out or to fix bugs. And why is that? Yes, you will be getting the slides. And why do you think it takes a long time for that to happen? Well, the reason then used to be the fact that you see the developers and the operations guys, they're usually apart in separate silos. So developers just carry on doing their work, and then operations guys, they carry on doing their work as well. And when it's time to release a feature, the operations guys, they keep pushing back. And why do they keep pushing back? Well, because every new release of a new feature has the potential to introduce risk to the platform. And the kind of risk they are scared of accepting are those kind of risks that make the operations guys wake up in the middle of the night to fix bugs or to fix issues. Database is down. And by the way, let me quickly give you an idea of the people who we are considering as operations guys. So database administrators, server administrators, network administrators, people who actually look after the infrastructure that make the software to run. So when these systems go down or the software code is creating some kind of issues, they are the first call of action. It's not the developers that come in to fix things, it's the operations guys. And because they don't want to wake up in the middle of the night, they don't want their alarm to start ringing just because a new feature has been released. Most of the time, they push back. Now, when they push back, what happens? It takes a longer time for that product to be released. And when they push back like that, all they are saying is, please go back and test your product well. Let us know if it's going to create a new set of problems on our systems. And they keep going back, they keep testing. And as long as it's going to take them to continue testing, that's when they get the confidence that now we can release this product. So you can see the problem that this brings. Now, it's usually a big problem because before DevOps actually came to light, I actually had a fair bit of experience to see how things used to operate then. And some companies are actually still practicing that. So there's something they call CAB meeting. They have to sit for a CAB meeting, which happens maybe once or twice every week or every 2 weeks. And if you don't pass your new request through CAB, you have to wait for another CAB meeting before that feature can be approved. So you can see it can take several months of planning and testing before new products or bug fixes can actually be fixed. And because of this, DevOps was introduced so that we don't have to go through all that pain. So with DevOps, there is a lot of focus on what is now called an integration of these two teams for better collaboration. So there's more communication, more collaboration between the two teams that facilitate the release of software in a much more reliable, secure, and faster manner. Now, already you're thinking about it. Well, for this to happen, then there has to be a great deal of automation. And that's true. And that's where a lot of your expertise begin to come in as a DevOps engineer. Okay, so let's quickly go to the next slide. And by the way, when I look up like that, I'm actually looking at a different screen because I have like 3 screens in front of me. Okay. So some of the principles that DevOps actually have is you will be hearing things like continuous integration, continuous delivery, infrastructure as code, monitoring, logging, collaboration, and communication. As you can see, some of these things I've mentioned them already, and there's quite a few more, but these are the ones that you will hear most often. And if you notice the logo of DevOps right here, you can see it's actually in like an endless loop. And that's where continuous integration and continuous delivery comes in. So when it comes to planning a new feature, developing the code, building the code, testing it, releasing it, deploying it, operating it, monitoring it, and it goes all the way back to planning and coding, and the whole cycle continues because a new feature is going to come, a new request is going to come, and bug fixes. It literally goes through the same thing. So any organization that embraces this concept will benefit from being able to release software really, really fast. And what do you think happens when companies are able to respond quickly to changes of customers? Obviously, more revenue, because now you're able to instantly respond to the needs of your customers. And then it brings about much more benefit and revenue to the company. Now, someone said that it's synonymous to agile. So you're right in the sense that DevOps and Agile actually works together. So if you understand the concept of Agile, you will appreciate that when you practice DevOps and then Agile together, it's just like, husband and wife living together, and the living happily ever after, so, sort of thing. They sort of work together because Agile has the concept of iteration and always getting feedback. And the same thing with DevOps, always planning and releasing, building code and having quick feedback. And, some practices and principles of Agile, when you bring it to DevOps, they sort of work together and it brings a lot of value to organizations. Now, when it comes to practicing this, you have to learn a few tools. So this is where your expertise now begin to shine. Okay. Someone is saying, are you still on video? I can't see it. Please, can everyone please confirm, because I really don't know if you're still seeing me or hearing me or seeing my slide. But I want to believe you are. Okay. So these are the technologies some of the technologies that you will become familiar with when it comes to practicing DevOps, because then you're going to be working on Linux servers. Most companies run their applications on Linux. So if you're going to be working as a DevOps engineer, obviously you have to learn how to work on Linux. Now, there are a lot of technologies that encourages the whole building and releasing and getting feedback and things like that. You're going to be working with cloud platforms, because with cloud concept, you're able to scale really fast. And with DevOps, you want your systems to be reliable. You don't want a situation where today you release your software to 1,000 customers, and then all of a sudden your product becomes really, really in need. And, think about when COVID started, okay? Literally, almost everyone all over the world started using Zoom. And you can imagine if Zoom did not prepare themselves for scale, what do you think will happen? All of a sudden, maybe they were servicing 100 million customers, and all of a sudden, now they're having like 500 million customers using their platform simultaneously. If they don't have systems that allows them to scale dynamically, their servers are going to be crashing. Now, cloud makes things like that possible. And because with DevOps, your system have to be reliable. So a tool that will make that reliable is the cloud. So whether you're running your systems in AWS, which is a public cloud provider, or you're running in a private cloud, which means you have your own private data center and you're able to spin up virtual machines within your data center, or you're using other public cloud platforms like Microsoft Azure or GCP, at the end of the day, they are all servicing the same purpose. So this is where a lot of people get things confused. You start asking questions like, okay, so what am I going to focus on? Do I go AWS? Do I go Azure? What exactly do I need to? There's so much technologies that I have to learn when it comes to DevOps. You see some job descriptions and you're wondering, where exactly do I start from? Well, we'll talk about that in some of my slides. So just hang on there. We'll talk about how to deal with this information overload and having to be confused about the different technologies. But what I want you to understand on this slide is the fact that those principles that we're talking about, they are actually being realized by using some tools. And what you now need to begin to learn is how to combine these tools together to deliver the DevOps promise. I mean, we're talking about being able to release software in a highly secure manner. Well, what is that tool that makes it secure? So you hear things like HashiCorp Vault that is able to help us keep secrets, dynamically provision secrets, and things like that. Or even have a PKI infrastructure. You hear things like Kubernetes. What does it do? Well, Kubernetes is not the only technology that does what it's doing, which is what we call orchestration of containers. There are many other options that does that. So your job as a DevOps engineer is actually not to learn all the tools, is actually to understand what those tools do, and based on your company's goals and so many other factors, you can help an organization decide and say, okay, let's go with this, or we go with that. And one thing you probably also want to do is keep yourself aware of trends. You can go to Google Trends. Okay, I like to do that a lot of time. If you see that a particular technology is being spoken about and there are alternatives to it, you can go to Google Trends, put the name of the technologies, and have an idea of which one is actually trending the most. And that way you can have an idea to say, okay, I'm probably going to focus on this particular one, at least to get myself into the industry. But we'll talk more about that later, like I said. So same set of skills, the same technologies you're going to learn, you can actually get to apply for different roles. Okay, and you get to see DevOps, cloud engineer, SRE, and sometimes you're wondering, okay, what makes them different? Well, the truth is, once you learn the same set of technologies and understand the primary focus of each of those roles, you can actually transition quickly between those roles. You can get on the job today as a DevOps engineer, and maybe you finish the project there, and in 1 year time, you get another job as an SRE. Okay, you don't have to learn something new to get that job. Pretty much with the same set of skills that you have, obviously always learning and adding to your wealth of knowledge, but the same thing revolves around the same set of technologies. So I'm just going to quickly touch on each of them so that you can have a bit of clarity. So when you hear about DevOps, you're hearing you're expected to understand how to implement and maintain CI/CD. Someone is actually saying that the resolution is sort of poor. Let me see if I can make this a bit larger. 1 second. Let me just see. Is it transitions? Sorry. Okay, I think it's slideshow. No, not play from scratch. Play from current. Okay. Actually, no. I thought I could enlarge it, but it didn't make any difference. All right, never mind. 1 second. Or maybe I can share on this different screen because I'm quite conscious that some of you guys are saying it's not really clear. Or is that the same for everyone? Because I can see Richard saying the resolution is poor. Well, the quality of the recording is actually 1080p. Maybe at the replay, you will be able to get it because this is actually streaming live. So maybe it's the quality of the internet, or no. Let me just read. Okay, Anthony has said it's very clear. So I'm guessing it's the quality of the internet connection, but never mind. Um, the recording is actually done in 1080p. I've actually checked that before we started. So if you are experiencing low quality, I assure you by the time you watch the recording again, it's going to be high quality. Okay, and then you can also do select your own quality, because I believe you can select the quality that you want it streamed for yourself. Okay, the slide is clear at my end, but my image is fine. Don't worry. I probably should even turn off my camera so that it can help some people. Okay, so you don't need to see my face, do you? Oh, someone has confirmed it's actually clearer on YouTube. Okay, cool. All right, so let's carry on and try to make sense of the things that we're talking about. So as a DevOps engineer, you'll be expected to implement and maintain CI/CD. Now, we're not going to go deep into what CI/CD is on this call today. It's one of the principles of DevOps we talked about earlier on, and it basically means continuous integration and continuous delivery or continuous deployment. And there are 3 videos on YouTube that we have actually published, or if you go to Dire.io and sign up, the first course there actually breaks all of this down for you. So you'll be expected to actually know how to implement that. And then you'll be able to drive collaboration between developers and operations. Because don't forget, this is what DevOps is solving. The silos played by each of these teams, developers and operations, just in their own world. And when the developers are done with their work, they just say, hey, operations guys, there you go, please release this software. And that never really ends well, because while they were developing, there wasn't communication. So the operations guys didn't know what they were doing. So it's very hard for them to take whatever they've done and put them on their own platform. So with DevOps, you want to enhance the collaboration during the development period, and during the testing period, during the release period. Everyone is working together and there is full visibility into exactly what's going on. Now, automation of infrastructure provisioning and configuration. Because as part of what you're expected to do as a DevOps engineer is to automate the building of an infrastructure. And when we say infrastructure, we talk about the servers, the networks, the databases, the security components, everything that has to do with the infrastructure. You're automating that process. And then you're monitoring and ensuring the reliability, the performance, and scalability of applications and the systems. So summarizing the things that you'll be doing as a DevOps engineer is basically what you're seeing right there. Of course, to do all these means you have to have special skills on certain technologies that allows you to do that efficiently. Now, let's take a bit of focus into what a cloud engineer would do, and you begin to see where the similarities are. In a nutshell, pretty much everything that you do as a DevOps engineer for a cloud engineer is just focusing and basically just focusing more on the cloud part of things. Because as a DevOps engineer, you may be working with a company that doesn't actually even use any cloud platform at all. Okay, so obviously that would be a bit hard, because some of the things that you would love to achieve by introducing DevOps. If there isn't any kind of cloud at all, it'll be hard to get everything. So you may practice maybe DevOps to a 50% perspective, working with a company that is not using cloud at all. But some companies practice it with cloud, but not with the public cloud. So it's possible to have private cloud, which means you're not using things like AWS or Azure or GCP. You have your own data centers with your own servers, but you're able to provision virtual machines within your private infrastructure. If that's what the organization has, you can still practice DevOps, but your role cannot be really called cloud engineer per se, because when you hear the cloud, the first thing that comes to most people's mind is the public cloud. So if you are to go for a job that is saying cloud engineer, it's most likely you're going to be doing things that a DevOps engineer does with a focus on a specific cloud or multiple cloud, because you may actually be a hybrid cloud engineer, which means you're able to work on AWS and Azure, GCP, Oracle, or DigitalOcean, or any of those public cloud providers. So you're basically deploying and managing cloud-based infrastructure. You're optimizing cloud infrastructure for scale, security, and cost effectiveness. And you're monitoring and troubleshooting infrastructure for reliability, performance, and scalability. So as you can see, it's still similar to what DevOps engineers do. It's just that it's focusing more on the cloud. Now let's talk about site reliability engineer. From the word reliability in between, you can guess that this is mostly focusing on the monitoring and reliability side of things. So monitor and ensure reliability, performance, and scalability of applications and systems, which is similar to what we've seen here and there. But this time around, you're focusing a lot more on the monitoring side of things. So that means even when you have deployed your applications in the infrastructure, in the cloud, or wherever it is you've deployed it, monitoring it, making sure it's always available is your focus. Now you get to implement automation with a focus on monitoring to maintain service uptime. So the kind of automation you're doing is if there are specific manual repetitive tasks you do as far as monitoring is concerned, you want to automate those things as an SRE person. And then you do a lot of troubleshooting of incidents, because you're basically supporting an infrastructure that is already live, customers are using it, and when there are incidents or troubles, things being reported, you're going to be doing a lot of root cause analysis and troubleshooting and learning from that and documenting the process and things like that. So at the end of the day, you're still working with similar technology stack. The focus of your delivery is just slightly different. That's basically what it is. And if we move on, there are many other roles that the same set of skill will still open you up for many more opportunities. So you may become a cloud architect, a solutions architect, an SRE manager or lead, principal, DevOps engineer, cloud operations engineer, DevOps manager, DevOps lead, cloud infrastructure specialist, build and release engineer, automation engineer. There's quite a few of them. So when you're searching for jobs, these are the kind of things that you get to search for from time to time. Well, obviously, depending on at what level you have reached in your career. I mean, you're not going to finish a training at that time and then go ahead and start applying for DevOps manager or principal DevOps engineer. Obviously, you have to start from somewhere, but this is leading you up to somewhere, and you can actually have a really, really fulfilling career just doing this. Okay. So learning this set of tools with a focus on its inclusive nature basically means collaboration and communication. I mean, if we're going to summarize all of these things, it's just around collaboration and communication, making sure that we're able to release in a collaborative manner and communicating effectively with stakeholders and things like that. Okay. Any questions so far before we proceed? Let me see if there are questions. So someone is saying, is cloud engineer the same as cloud administrator? Well, just like we said, if you're working as a cloud administrator, it basically means you're looking after the infrastructure in the cloud. Now, some people may focus on certain areas of cloud services. For example, you could be a database engineer, a database administrator that is a cloud administrator. And what you're doing is you're just focusing on the database side of things. Or maybe you're a network engineer and you have specialty in networking in the cloud. You're administering the infrastructure from a network angle. But it doesn't mean that you don't get to use the same set of skills or tools. Terraform is a technology that allows us to automate infrastructure in the cloud. So whether you're a cloud administrator, cloud engineer, SRE, whatever it is, you still get to use the same tool to automate things in the cloud, whether it's focusing on networking or database or any other thing, you're still using the same tool. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay. Okay. Harry says, I will stake and hang on for the video recording. Okay, yeah, he's talking about the quality. I apologize for that. Yeah, when you get the recording, by all means, make sure that I'm certain that the quality is going to be way better, and you can make sure that you set the quality to 1080p. Okay. And Richard says, if you're a database administrator, does that make you a DevOps engineer? Okay, that's an interesting question because I've actually worked at some time as a DBA, and I can tell you for a fact, it doesn't automatically make you a DevOps engineer. Actually, when you start working on certain technologies that focuses on automation, like Terraform I mentioned just now, that does infrastructure provisioning, and you work on things like Ansible to configure the infrastructure, and you're learning about containerization and logging, monitoring, all those kind of things, it goes beyond just the database. Because as a database administrator, you're just focusing on databases. But this time around, you're looking at the network, you're looking at the servers, you're tweaking the systems, you're implementing monitoring, you're implementing logging. You're having a much wider look at things rather than focusing on just one angle that makes this software available. Okay. And I think that I saw another question just now. What about cloud engineer and cloud analyst? Are both the same? So when you say cloud analyst, it's a good thing it doesn't even have engineer. So if you're an analyst could be, for example, when companies are running workloads in the cloud, it comes at a cost. So whether you're helping your organization to analyze the costing side of things, that's a different thing. So it doesn't automatically make you a cloud engineer, because engineering in the cloud is more than just analyzing specific angles. Okay, if you're a SQL database or data analyst or data scientist, you can still call yourself a cloud analyst because you're looking at data and analyzing things, right? And someone was asking about DevSecOps and cloud security. And that's interesting because I hear a lot of people say, oh, I just want to do cloud, cyber security. And what they fail to understand is that there is a lot of DevOps is really wide, because there are now other things like DevSecOps, MLOps, DataOps, and so many other ops. And with DevSecOps, the sec in between focuses on the security side of things. So you're building systems, you're automating systems, you're making software delivery possible with high focus on security. And that means you understand a lot about how things are encrypted, whether in flight. And when we say in flight, we mean over the wire, over the internet, across computers talking to each other, or at rest, which means encrypting data that is in some storage devices. Okay. Someone is saying, let's see your face, please. I hope it's not going to affect the internet. All right. If that's going to help, I'll put it back on. Okay. And, talking about security and all those things and all the other side of DevOps. And that's one really good thing about DevOps because it opens you up for other areas to focus on. Having the same set of skills, you can later on begin to focus more on just the security side of things. Or you're interested in the data science, machine learning, AI side of things, you can begin to look at ML ops, which is machine learning and ops put together, automating things that makes machine learning possible. Okay, the release of machine learning products. All right. So let me see. Someone says, does the DevOps package include cybersecurity and CH certified ethical hacker? No, it doesn't include the certified ethical hacker side of it. That's a different area completely. But having DevOps and DevSecOps knowledge would actually set you on a right path for things like that, maybe later on. But what I'll like you to do is, like I said before, you can always go to Google Trends, put cybersecurity and DevOps, and try to see the trend, and that will also help you to decide which direction you want to go. And when you're making that decision as well, always when you're making that analysis as well, always look at your location and put in there cybersecurity jobs or DevOps jobs in my area or in the area you're looking at, and look at the salaries. And not just that, you also have to look at the demand. You can go to LinkedIn jobs, okay, put in the job that you're searching for and filter by date. So this is what will give you an idea. Filter by date, and in the last 1 month, how many DevOps jobs has been posted? In the last 1 month, how many cybersecurity jobs or DevSecOps or whatever, or platform engineering? Okay, how many of those jobs were posted in the last 1 week? All these kind of things will help you to understand the demand versus the supply, and look at how many people have applied for each of those jobs, and compare them to things like product owner, Scrum, testing B, and all that. And you get to see, because it's very important to understand that what you're getting into, how many people are going in that direction. Okay, because obviously it's a law of demand and supply. When companies have a lot of supply for a certain skill, they get to set the price. But imagine if there is huge demand and low supply of it. What do you think happens? They want to pay more. They want to steal each other's employees. They want to have you tell them how much you want to earn because you're special, and these are the kind of things that happen. All right, let's move on because I'm conscious of time. I don't want to waste your time, and I also want you to get the best out of this session. Okay, so what is so special about becoming a DevOps engineer? A sense of fulfillment, because it's solving a huge problem for businesses. This is, trust me, businesses that start using DevOps, they just love it. It is solving a huge problem for them. With DevOps and cloud, companies don't even have to invest in physical servers anymore and have their own data centers. With a click of a button, they can have an enterprise infrastructure, and they pay as they go. Okay, so not just being able to release software in a manner that is fast and speedy for their customers. Now it's even saving them a lot of cost as well. Okay, now that's quite relative, because if you see the cost, how much companies pay for cloud costs, you start wondering, wow, this is a lot. But trust me, compared to what they had to deal with where they had physical infrastructure, it's considered way cheaper. Because when companies buy servers, after certain years, it's not useful to them anymore. They sort of get rid of them, and they have to think of buying new ones to upgrade them, and they have to worry about patching and all those overhead, even hiring people all the time just to ensure they're able to maintain the data centers. All that is gone away. Now they want to hire DevOps engineers that can get these things happen for them quickly. Now, remote working opportunities, obviously. Now, this has opened huge opportunities to a lot of people. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're in Nigeria, India, Pakistan, Kenya, wherever it is, you can work with companies in the UK, in US, in Europe, Portugal, Germany, all over the place, without leaving the shores of your country, because it's now making it possible. Even for people like us living in the UK, we don't even have to go into the office. Most of the jobs are remote or hybrid, at least. And then it's a recession proof career as well. When everyone is complaining about losing their jobs, this actually is one that you hardly hear anyone that is highly skilled DevOps engineer saying, "Oh, I'm looking for work, I can't find work," or "I've just finished my contract, I'm finding it hard to get another job." Trust me, once you have the skills, it's always going to be a smooth ride for you, just going from one contract, one employment to another, naming your price and things like that, and high pay, obviously. So yeah. I'll tell you a bit. I've had to bring a few screenshots in the past, some of the work that I have done in the past. This was 2017. This was around 2018 as well. This was paying for £35 per day. This was paying £500 per day. Now, there are some other roles as well that pay as much. Okay. Don't get me wrong. If you're a scrum master, a BA, a product owner, and things like that, they pay that much. But the question is, when you finish your role, how quickly can you get another one? Okay, what's the demand, the level of demand and supply? Ever since I started my career, I've never had a break. Literally, it's never happened to me. It's always been having multiple jobs at the same time, multiple options to choose from. This was another time, £600 per day. So it's really, really fulfilling. This was another one paying £700 per day, right? And again, if you do a Google search, it actually, you can put in there in your currency the average salary of DevOps engineer. Now, I'll tell you what, right here, it's saying the average salary of a DevOps engineer, 7+ years, is around $147,000 a year. And the average salary less than a year is around $88,000 a year. Now, that's average that Google is reporting. But I can tell you, based on a lot of people that have gone through our platform and have gotten jobs, we've had people literally living out of this program and they're getting 180K job per year. Okay. And I'm not kidding you. This is a very verifiable information I'm passing on to you. So it's really rewarding. And it's going to be like that for a very long time. I'm not going to tell you it's going to be like that forever. But as far as I know, for a very long time, DevOps is still on the trending upward side. Okay, so how can I get started? Okay, this is the part where I'd like to have I don't know, Priscilla, if we have any of our past student here to give us and let them tell us how they got started, and probably that may help them. I've talked about mine. I've shown a few other people, and then once we have maybe one or two people come up to tell us how they got started, how it worked for them, and then we can come back to end the session, because there's still a few more things I'd like to show you guys, and then take from there.
Thank you very much. It's been so wonderful and insightful. I think I have Larry here, so I'll be bringing Larry up. Hi, Larry.
Oh, good evening. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes. Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
So we'd like to hear all about your diary experience. If it's fine with you, you can turn on your camera. I hope you're in a place where, you know, you can turn on your camera. If that's fine with you.
Sorry, I had to park my car for me to answer this because I was thinking I was going to be interviewed earlier, but
Oh, we're
uh,
so sorry. We're
yeah.
so
So
sorry.
yeah. So let me quickly wind up my car so that I can
That's
talk.
fine.
Sorry about that. So okay,
It's fine, totally.
I'm with you now.
Yes, so we'd like to know about, your experience. I think first thing first, let's meet you. What's your name? What do you currently do? What did you do before, DevOps? and you know, how did
Okay,
you hear about Dari.io? You know, all the good things, all the good things.
and let me take it one at a time.
Okay.
Uh, Let me first answer the first part, which is introducing myself. My name is Larry. Uh, I'm a Nigerian, and I moved into the UK some years back. When I got here, I did some couple of trainings with different platforms, but unfortunately, I was not able to get a job. So I knew there was more that was required. So I had to dig deeper, searching for information, bombarded the internet, but I couldn't see any. I applied for more than 500 jobs on all the platforms that were available at that point in time. I couldn't get any job. I couldn't get a feedback, not single feedback. But one thing I noticed is that whenever I check the job description, I always see that they mention different things like Jenkins, Ansible, and some other tools, Kubernetes. I only hear about these tools. I knew nothing about how they work or what they do. So I knew that there was more to do. Uh, at some point, I decided to still do professional certification, solution architect to be precise, and the associate level. Well, still, I couldn't get a job. You know, I gave my CV to a professional CV writer. I was still not able to get a job. The recruiters they will call me. Normally, they will call me. They call me every day, but when it gets to what I know how to do, I wasn't there. So they always promised to get back, which they never did. So at some point, I was almost giving up. That was when I saw one of the videos pop up on my page on Facebook. There, I decided to decided to check it and see what exactly was there. And fortunately for me, because of what I've been doing, trying to look for this information, I just saw that gentleman smiling and talking about these tools that I've been searching for like gold, for me to explore, but that I've not been able to explore for a long time. So that was how I got to know of Diary.io and the rest is story.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's good to know. I think I'm curious. At what point, in your journey, did you start? Did you think you got the confidence to, start pushing yourself out there, start applying to jobs, those jobs that you didn't get before? Because over time, a lot of rejection sometimes would, make you lose some sort of confidence in yourself. So at what point did you think you were capable? Like, okay, yeah, I think now I'm capable for these jobs. Now I can get these jobs. Like, at what point in your journey with Diary did that happen? Hi Banjo, I'm not AI.
Yes. So thank you for that question. I think by the time I got my hand dirty in you know doing those projects and seeing testimony from others on the Slack saying, "Hey, that was a particular lady. I think she lives in the UK in the US. That was a point that she wrote her testimony and she was talking about, oh, she's got two kids and she was able to navigate it and was able to get a job. And I had to send her a message privately and to confirm this, and she said yes, she actually got a job because there was nobody to tell me, to give me a testimony before, prior to when I started the training. So I just followed my mind because I was convinced with what I heard from Dari himself on Facebook when I saw him. So so seeing that and seeing what we were doing, and at some point I started checking jobs descriptions to see what exactly they wanted, and I got to see that, oh, I actually know more than half of the tools, even if I'm not, even if I wasn't too good in using them. At least I know what they do. So that gave me a bit of confidence. So when I got to maybe project 20, that is when I said to myself, Larry, I think it is time for you to get get on the job market and start searching for job. So so I
So
think
I'll,
when I got
I'll
to 20,
Sorry, Larry. I have one question before we take a question from some of our audience. So the first question I have for you was that, okay, now that you figured out that yes, you're capable of taking these jobs, right? At what I think I'm still curious at the level of your project, but how quickly did you get a job? So when you started applying yourself out there, how how quickly did you like get an offer?
You know, it's so funny. I was actually bombarded with offers. This is the truth. It's not. There's no reason to lie here. I was actually bombarded with offers. In fact, it was so bad that I had to set up my Outlook diary for me to so that I won't miss because I lost track of interviews. Sometimes I have 5, 6 a day. I did more than I think I did more than 30 interviews within a month. I started applying. The time between when I started applying and when I actually got a job, I think it was about a month. It's no more than a month. It's no more than
Wow.
a month. And
Wow.
I remember I had to let go of some interviews
Yeah.
because
So at this point, you're even
because
wondering,
I
okay,
yes
which ones
because
should I pick and all of that.
because I had a lot of offers, so I had to screen them to see the ones that because some are a bit stressful that you have to go to maybe 4 or 5 stages of interview. I didn't have that time, and the first job they offered me, I didn't take it, and this is me looking for a job. The reason why I didn't take it was because I wanted a bigger company, so I actually rejected the offer, and the recruiter, I think they gave me tasks to do. I didn't have time to do it because I had interviews, coming up with big reputable companies. When I say reputable companies in the UK, I don't want to mention any company.
Yeah.
And obviously, the company I work with now is a very reputable company here in the UK. And lo and behold, even now that I've been working, uh, I think if I go to my LinkedIn profile, people are still trying to price me, telling me that, oh, come and work for us. Oh, come on. The market is so saturated. There are a lot of opportunities. It is not even a joke. There are a lot of opportunities. And I think since when I started working, I think I brought like 7 to 8 people to do the training. So it's not, I don't even have to tell them anything. People that knows me well. This is not my field from the get-go. I read agric economics in Nigeria, University of Ilorin, to be precise. And I've never practiced. I don't even know what DevOps was as at that point in time. I always believe in certification, and I had the belief back then that with certification you could actually get a job, any job of your choice. But I was wrong. You need to have this the what's it called, the skills for you to get something tangible in the IT world, especially in DevOps engineering. So it has not been smooth sailing, but I don't want to do anything else. This is my career. This is my life.
Wow. It's good to know. Thank you so much, Larry. If it's okay with you, can we take a couple of questions from the audience?
Sure, feel free. Sure.
Okay. So we have Ulumide here um asking you, I want to know how was the actual journey of understanding the use of all the tools.
I
Or
think that is
should I take it again?
yeah, yeah. I got it.
Okay.
I think that is ultimately that is where seriousness comes in. If you know what you are doing, uh, imagine maybe possibly I don't know in my set maybe we're more than 50 people that finished maybe 20 or 18 or thereabout. I don't know. So you have to be serious and know what you're doing. It's if I tell you that it is easy, I'm lying. Because if it's easy, everybody will be doing it. And the opportunity wouldn't be there again. It is not easy. That's why most people are not doing it. But the sacrifice is rewarding. If you're able to cough out that time, get your hands dirty and go through the projects, read at length, study on your own, watch YouTube videos, read documentations, you can actually get everything done within 6 months. If you are working, I think within between 8 months and a year, you can actually finish all the projects. But if you are not working, and you are very devoted to it, I think within 6 months you should be able to get to a stage where you can start and applying for jobs.
Thank you, Larry. The last question is from Aziz. So he's asking if you got the job after you moved to the UK, or you got the job. Did you get the job after you moved to the UK, or you got the job after? Okay, so I'm guessing what the question is did you get your job before you moved to the UK? Did the job was the job the reason why you moved to the UK, or you were already in the UK, before you started applying and then got the job? I'm guessing that's the question the person is asking.
Yeah, I got a job when I was living here. I live there for some time now. So uh, I got a job. I was in the UK when I got a job, not in Nigeria. But the good thing about DevOps engineering as a career is that I actually got a offer from Dubai. I got one from Holland, and I think I get few from America as well. So it knows no, you don't have to. Location is not an issue when it comes to DevOps career. And the reason is because most of the things we do it virtually. You don't have to be there on site. I've not been in my office for the past 3 months. I pop in whenever I feel I want to go. So it's not about if you live in the UK, automatically you get the job. Once you have the skills anywhere you are. Do you even know that some companies now, because of the demand in the markets and how busy the market is, they are actually sponsoring people from Nigeria. They can actually sponsor you once they know you have the skills, the required skill for you to fit into their system, and they can actually sponsor you. I've seen people like that such thing happens to. Most of the other sectors in the IT world, it is not like that. But DevOps engineer, SREs, and platform engineers, they have that edge above others. And the reason is because people, the opportunities in the market is actually more than the resources in any of those countries. Either in Nigeria, either in Africa, either in Europe, either in America, anywhere, Canada. So location is not an issue. What the advice I will give it to you, Aziz, is his name Aziz, is that you should.
Yes.
Okay, Aziz, the advice I will give to you is that you should learn the skills. Once you have those skills, wherever you are, the only thing you need is internet access. Once you have internet access and your LinkedIn profile is well structured and up to date, trust me, you should get something. And people that are in Nigeria are actually richer than us here. The reason is because we pay monthly. Yeah, we pay rent, we pay for everything monthly. But in Nigeria, maybe you pay once in a year. Some are not even paying rents. So they have more money because it is the same amount they pay us there, they pay them. So, so please, Aziz, don't, because if you think about the country, it will limit what you're able to do.
Mm.
Please don't think about the country. Just think about you learning the skills. If you have those skills anywhere you are, they will look for you. Trust me.
Thank you so much, Larry. Thank you so much. All right, guys. I'm going to bring Larry back up now. And if you have more questions for Larry, I will try to pass those questions to him and drop those his response as a
Let me
comment.
let me give a shout out to my boss before I go.
Okay.
Dari.io. Thank you so much for what you do, my boss. you
Thank you very
have
much.
really,
It's really nice to
you have,
have you here. Great.
you have really, really, really inspired a lot of us. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
so,
you. I
so
Thank you
much.
remember
so
the
much,
first time
Larry, for
you
coming.
told me that you got your job. It was a really, really good feeling,
Yeah, yes,
knowing your
yes,
story
yes.
and knowing when
It
you
was like
started.
it was like a joke. It was
Yeah.
like a joke. It was like a
Well
play.
done.
So thank you so much
Well
for
done.
all you do. Thank you
And
so
thanks
much.
for honoring our invitation today. All right, cool.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
just to
Thank you, Larry.
I'm I'm going to quickly run through the rest of the slides now. I know a lot of people are asking, oh, how do I get started? What do I need to do to join the classes and, things like how do I get a job? And I'm going to talk about all those things now. So we focus on what is called project-based learning, okay? So it's good to have certifications, no doubt about it. Certifications have its place. Now, we offer certifications as well where you go through our program. Again, you can take industry recognized certifications. AWS have their own, Jenkins, they have their own, Kubernetes, Terraform. You can write all those certifications, and that's good, but it ends on your CV. Seriously, it literally ends on your CV. And even if you get a job eventually, based on the fact that you have all sorts of certifications on your CV, hardly will you find any company asking you to go and bring proof of those certifications. Hardly. I have never, for once, have any company say to me, oh, you say you have the certifications, please bring proof. It's never happened to me. If it's happened to any one of you guys, you can, say that. For those who have already been working in DevOps, you can, but I have never experienced it, and none of the people that I know have experienced it. So what does that tell you? This is an area that is heavily driven by experience. It is not like law. You must have a degree, you must go through law school, you must have the qualifications to practice law. You must have the qualifications to practice medicine. Tech is not one of those. Okay? You can A lot of successful startup companies out there, their CEOs who are tech people are drop out from uni. Facebook and the likes of them, they literally drop out to focus on their tech because it's more of a hands-on practical thing. Okay. And besides, I don't even have a degree in tech. So for those who know me, my background, from way back or know my country, I actually went to school in Nigeria, went to Lagos State Polytechnic, studied marketing. So whatever I knew back then has nothing to do with what I'm doing today. And what that tells you is employers only want to hire people with experience. And that's the reason why we have chosen to focus on project-based learning. So we use PBL, we call it PBL, to gain hands-on experience. And it helps you to bridge the gap, especially if you do not have any tech background. Obviously, if you're from a networking background, if you're from software development background, it does play a big role in making a lot of the concepts easy for you to understand. But if you do not have any background in tech at all, this is the only way out, not certifications. Okay, certifications, they have their place, and they only have two places. One on your CV, because obviously it makes a recruiter just look at, oh, okay, this CV looks good, let's speak with him or her. Okay. But again, if you don't have those on your CV, it won't stop them from wanting to speak with you, especially when they've seen the projects you've done and the things you claim to know. The other place certifications help is you personally, the process of getting to learn and practice helps you to retain information. And that's it. But with PBL, it even helps you to retain more information because you're practically doing things. And when you repeatedly do things, it just stick with you. Initially, it can become a bit challenging, but over time, it begins to make sense and you can begin to connect the dots. It helps you to develop a huge problem solving skills. And that's one thing that companies want to hire you for. They want you to come and help them solve things. Emphasizing on collaboration and teamwork is what we focus on a lot. If you're doing it on your own, you probably won't get to experience that. Well, we have a platform that actually enables that, which you're also going to use in the real place. Building a portfolio of projects. Again, you're going to be able to showcase your projects when it's time for you to start looking for work. So how do you select relevant projects to work on? You have to identify DevOps concepts. So we've been talking about a few of them: CI/CD, continuous integration, and all those things. Identify those things, and then you have to research real-world scenarios to practice those things. Okay, be up to date on job descriptions. So every time you have to go online, search for new jobs, look at the job descriptions, see what they're asking for, see the technologies they're mentioning, and you can try to come up with projects that you can do around those things that you get to see. Then automate processes. Yes, you started learning AWS, you're preparing for your AWS Solutions Architecture certification, and some of the things you're learning about it, you have to start learning how to automate those processes. You have to start using cloud services. Collaboration and communications, again, you can see how we're emphasizing that because you're going to be using that a lot in the real world. Now, incremental improvement, that's another thing. You can't learn everything in one day. And that's why our platform, we take you in steps. You start from step 1, step 2, 3, 4. It has to go in gradually because it's just not possible to have and absorb all the information at once. And that's where the problem is. When you try to do that, you get overwhelmed and becomes very problematic. You have to follow a structured learning path, and you have to get your hands on as many capstone projects as possible. So this is the direct advantage. It's an opportunity to start something new. It's an opportunity to build your experience. And we have this job guarantee. So we work with a lot of consulting companies as well to place talent based on the project they've implemented through us. Now, of course, there's terms and conditions with this because obviously we can't say because there's job guarantee, come, you do a 6 months program, here you go, job. No, it doesn't work that way, okay? You have to make sure you finish all the projects, okay? It takes some time, you complete all the projects. You don't miss your sessions, you do all the quizzes. There's a lot of sessions, live sessions that you're going to attend. There's a lot of quizzes that you're going to do every week. We give you challenges that get you prepared. And the reason we do all this is because that gives us the confidence that when we start sending you to our partner companies, you're not going to disappoint us because they trust us to know that we bring quality to them, okay? And they're always looking for talent. And so, as long as you complete those projects that we present to you, those projects are challenging, by the way, okay? We're mentors that we're going to help you. We have a lot of mentors on our platform. We're going to guide you through the way, but be certain that scaling through them builds up your experience, builds up your troubleshooting skills. And trust me, you get into a company on day 1, you're going to hit the ground running. We don't have people who finish the program and come back to us and say, oh, we're struggling on the job. No, they are prepared to hit the ground running in their respective roles. So collaboration with peers and mentors, you have that. You have instant access to support. So what does PBL look like with us? So once you sign up on our platform, you have access to, tracking all these metrics, what projects you've completed, what courses you've completed. We get to give you access to our Slack channel, the quizzes you get to implement. There's a lot of real world use cases, a lot of diagrams, a lot of scenarios that you get to work with. And these are things you get to talk about when you go for interviews. Okay, you don't want to go for interview and a recruiter is asking you, so tell me about a time. That question, you better be prepared for it because it's going to happen. Tell me about a time you did this. They're not asking you what is Jenkins or what is Kubernetes. They want you to walk them through your experience building out a solution. And the experience you're going to talk about, you're obviously going to talk about the challenges you faced and how you resolve them. And that cannot come through preparing for certifications. That can only come when you actually implement them and you face those challenges, and then you're able to talk about that. And I sometimes laugh when people say, oh, I'm getting frustrated, I'm getting these error messages, I can't go through it. Trust me, those error messages, that's your experience. As a matter of fact, you should be glad when you're seeing red on your screen and you're seeing error messages, because when you see error messages, is an opportunity for you to learn something, because you're going to troubleshoot, you're going to try to figure out how it's done, and at the end of the day, you're going to learn something. And that is what you talk about when you go for interviews. And that, again, gives the recruiter the confidence that you can get the job done. Okay? So we have a structural learning path, as you can see. it starts from steps. So you go through step 1, 2, 3, 4. We have series of courses and videos and projects and all sort of things that you go through. And this is what collaboration looks like on our platform. There's over 2,500 peers and mentors on our platform to collaborate with. And you get to see people sharing screenshots of things they're facing, and our mentors joining in and saying, this is what it's all about. This is how to navigate it. This is how to fix it, and all that. Someone is asking the T's and C's. What are they? Once you reach out to us, you want to get started. We'll educate you more on that. Now, I've been talking about some of the challenges, and this is the time to talk about them. Are you excited? All right, cool. So I put together some challenges you will face and how to deal with them. Information overload, of course. Number one, there's going to be a lot of information thrown at you. But the strategy is you have to avoid trying to learn everything at once. Okay? So always keep that in mind. Trust in our process and follow it through. Initially, it may seem like you're doing copy and pasting and you're wondering, oh, I'm just copying and pasting. I'm not really doing much. Don't worry. The time is come. You're going to start doing much. Okay. So it goes gradually, and ultimately you get to a point where you start doing a lot of heavy lifting, and you begin to build a lot of confidence as well. Lack of technical background, you have to embrace project-based learning. Do not fall into the trap of focusing on certifications, okay? Certifications are good. We'll tell you when it's time to start writing that, because it gets to a point during our program that we actually encourage you to take some certifications. But you have to start, first of all, getting your hands dirty, implementing projects. Then overwhelming technology landscape. Okay, so you have to focus on core DevOps principles and technologies. So we've talked about a few of them already. You get to meet a lot of them when you join our program. So you get overwhelmed with them when we start throwing them at you, but focus on the ones that are DevOps specific, and always remember the principles and align those principles with the respective technologies that allows those principles to be implemented. Okay. So for example, you had things like infrastructure as code. Well, there is a tool that helps us to implement infrastructure as code. So each of those principles like that, you focus on the tools and technologies that allow you to do them. And gradually you get to build up on those concepts. Okay. And complex infrastructure and cloud concept, again, start small, it builds up. Okay. Start small, it keeps building up gradually. And then you balancing learning and other life commitment. This is a big one. A lot of you guys have family, you have kids, you have your 9 to 5, you have many other things you're doing, and that's fine. Okay. But there's only one way out. You want to do this. This is your way out. It's your tickets to get out of that boxed up career that you're currently going through, and you want to get into something much bigger. You need to find your motivation. When I was doing it and I was going through my own challenges, money was my motivation. And if you don't feel ashamed to say it, that you're motivated by money. At the end of the day, we all need money to survive in life. Okay. You want the best things of life. You want to be able to go on holidays. You want to be able to do all these things, take care of your family, right? So what I used to do then when I'm facing my challenges, I go on job sites, DevOps engineer jobs in the UK. I see 500 pounds a day. Ooh, I'm happy. I go back, face my challenges, and keep going. So you need to find your motivation. Now, some of you, money may not be your motivation, and that's fine. It could be the fact that you want to be able to work remotely. If that's your greatest challenge, you just need to find your motivation, and that will help you to keep going. Okay. And then you have to develop discipline. You can't pick up learning DevOps this week and then you feel like, oh, next week I'm not doing anything, or next 2 weeks I'm not doing anything. The moment you start, you want to keep going bang on, bam, 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 bam. Never stop, because you need to prepare yourself for the great challenges ahead when you start working for your organization. And this is the time that you can help yourself to be able to navigate that process. And then imposter syndrome. Everyone faces this, trust me. When I was ready to start looking for work, I kept telling myself I wasn't ready. Trust me. I said to my wife that, you know what? I want to do DevOps, right? But I think I'll give myself 3 years challenge. That was what I said. I think I gave myself 2 or 3 years challenge. Okay. And I was feeling all the time that I wasn't ready. I just needed enough time. But then after like 6 months or so, I just said, okay, let me just try and put my CV out there. And I did. And I started going for interviews. And in just 6 months from the time I promised myself, I got my job. Okay. I got a DevOps job that was paying me £500. And it just dawned on me that, well, I felt like I wasn't good enough, but actually, it's not about being perfect. You understand the concepts, you've practiced a few things, and a lot of people don't even finish all the projects that we present on our platform before they start launching their career. Okay, so don't think you have to finish all the 30 projects, all the 40 projects, all the whatever project we give you. Once you start hitting certain threshold, you've done a lot of projects, okay, you can actually put your CV outside and start going for it. Start going for interviews, start preparing yourself for interviews, because the interviewing process itself is a learning curve. Okay, learning about the kind of questions they asked, learning how to answer them. And one thing I used to do was record myself every time I go for interviews. Okay, put my phone on. It's not to share with anyone. Please do not share any interview recording with anyone at all. Data privacy. Do not do that. But the purpose of recording is actually to listen back again myself. Very important. I listen back to that, and then I go to learn based on the questions that they've asked me, and I get to learn about improve my responses, the way I respond to questions. It can be very, very embarrassing listening to yourself and the kind of things you say, especially when you find out that you've said rubbish. But it's fine. It's part of the process. So imposter syndrome, do not feel like you're not ready, you're not good enough, just embrace growth, a growth mindset, learn from your mistakes, seek support from peers and mentors, and just move on. All right. So where do I start? Where do I start? Learning DevOps tools will definitely set you up for success. Okay. So join the next cohort. Okay. Gain access to structured learning, more than 30 hands-on projects on our platform, one-to-one mentoring, live sessions, over 2,500 peers and mentors to interact with. You can launch your career in 3 to 6 months. Whether you want to start as a beginner or you want to learn a lot more and just start off as a more middle-sized DevOps engineer. We have a lot of people that actually finish our program and go on to become senior DevOps engineers because they're pretty much doing what senior guys are doing out there. All right. Okay, so yes, we have a special offer. If you want to join our program today, okay, this offer is open only for the 5 days. Okay, so the foundation program, we're giving you a huge discount off today, £750, one off. Advanced program, 1,005, one of you pay for this. We have scholarship for those in emerging economies in Africa, India, Pakistan. You get 65 off or 65% off on that. And there's a link. So click on the link, get onto that. If you want to apply for that scholarship, we have a certain process for that to get into to qualify for that. Finance is available as well. If you are having maybe you want to do this, you don't have the financing or whatnot, you can reach out to us as well. So while we are looking at it, let me just look through some of the questions, and I can just carry on answer some of them, and we can end the session. So thank you so much, guys, for joining me on this session today. So on the screen, I believe you should have a pop-up somewhere in the chat section. You see a link to actually get the discount. Okay, so someone is saying money is a motivation. So yeah, that's it. So I was asking, what's the difference between DevOps and platform engineering? That's a good one. So platform engineering focuses a lot around, building the platform. Okay. With DevOps, there's a whole lot of things going on with DevOps. You're building the platform, you're monitoring the platform, you're automating the processes, collaboration, communication, all those things is going on. So when you hear things like platform engineering, it's just similar to when you hear SRE or cloud engineer, which is DevOps skills focusing on cloud. Now, platform engineering is DevOps skills, the same set of tools, but focusing on infrastructure development. So you're writing code to automate the build and configuration of infrastructure. So whether it's in the cloud, on-premise, private cloud, whatever it is actually focusing on the platform. Okay. So monitoring side of things, yes, you still build out the monitoring side, but ultimately when you release everything to production, the SRE guys carry on from there, monitoring and just making sure it's highly available, reliable, and things like that. Okay. Yes, the recording is going to be shared to you after today's class. So, watch out in your email. You will get the recording. And someone is asking how many months it runs for. So we have the foundation class that runs for 3 months. Okay. So we have live classes every week. We have a few blocker sessions as well. We have some group sessions where you bring in your challenges during your project implementation. We have our mentors that you have to share your screen. They get to help you. We have one-to-one mentoring as well, where you're struggling with things. That happens in 3 months. And then the advanced class as well happens in 3 months. So if you finish the foundation class, you can get onto the advanced program. Or maybe you already have some skills in the industry already. You just want to solidify your skills. You can get onto the advanced program, and that can help you as well. And once you finish your program, we still get to give you some leeway to give you access to the program, just in case you have some videos you still need to catch up on, some projects you haven't completed. We give you some access, depending on your subscription, maybe another 3 months or so. I'm not really sure, but you still have that so that you're able to prepare yourself. And we also have something called the Get Hired add-on service, which means once you finish with the entire learning the project, everything, you're ready to start looking for work. That's where we'll help you with your CV. We'll help you with references as well. We'll connect you with consulting companies within our network. You literally just sit back and wait for phone calls. Okay. Companies are going to start reaching out to you, scheduling interviews with you, preparing you for work. Okay. So someone's asking, do you provide Azure training? At the moment, our focus is on AWS. Azure is coming soon. I don't know yet, but we're going to be introducing Azure somewhere down the line, GCP as well. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. I hope this has been really informative to you, and I hope you make the best out of this. So Priscilla, I'm going to hand it over to you now. Watch out